My dear brothers and sisters, on October 26th, the Wall Street Journal ran a front-page story wherein we are told that Facebook's chief executive has become a vocal proponent of online worlds where people exist immersed in virtual and shared spaces. This is called the Metaverse. It represents a digital reality where people, through an icon or a graphic representation of themselves called an avatar, are able to enter offices, attend meetings with colleagues and friends, go to concerts, or even try on clothes in stores, just as they would offline in the real world. In other words, Facebook is going to be spending billions to have people fixated in front of screens leading virtual existences. But let us step back for a moment and ask ourselves, what type of world are we currently inhabiting? Is it not virtual enough? Is it not surreal enough? Witness the silence of the streets, the deafening silence of the streets. How sad it is. How sad to see people hunched over their cell phones. Meet the iPhone, the iPad, the iPod generation. They are the young Americans born after 1995, the first to spend their entire adolescence with smartphones in their hands. They spend more time in front of screens and less time interacting with one another than any previous generation. We already have lockdowns. We've always had them. We've locked down ourselves. These people communicate primarily online through social media or text, not in person. Is there any wonder that they appear to be paranoid? Danger seems to lurk at every turn in the form of ideas that challenge their cherished beliefs. How sad. How sad are the streets. No one speaks. No one talks to one another. We are overwhelmed by things, yet impoverished. So impoverished. We asked ourselves, which of us has a close friend? Even one friend in whom they can confide. Have people ever been so isolated, distant, and remote? As I walk down the street, how rare it is for someone to come up, to smile, and say good morning. So we have this all-pervasive fear. These 4 levels of loneliness. We've estranged ourselves from nature. And suddenly, nature comes back with us in an antagonistic form of so-called climate change. Make of it what you will. We've estranged ourselves from others. Please number your close friends in whom you can confide. We've estranged ourselves from work. How many of us do? Fulfilling, self-actualizing work that we can feel good and proud of. And no wonder so many Americans are quitting their jobs in record numbers. And we've estranged ourselves from our core beliefs, from our core essence, from our innermost selves. Facebook is a symptom of our poverty. All the likes on Facebook cannot compare with the warmth of a smile, a word of kindness and encouragement, a pat on the back. In opposition to Facebook's Metaverse, we postulate the Jeffersonian American. He is alive and organic. He operates not from the superficial level of civility and politeness, nor the level of rage and hostility below it, but from the core of his being. One of the most profound seers, a brilliant student of Freud, has postulated that there are 3 layers to one's personality. On the most superficial layer, the average man is reserved, polite, compassionate, responsible, and conscientious. Then down below the level of politeness and civility, there is a second intermediate character level, which consists of cruel, sadistic, lascivious, rapacious, and envious impulses. It represents the Freudian unconscious, or what is repressed. But if one penetrates through the secondary layer, we are told, into the biological stratum, one always discovers the third, deepest layer, which we call the biologic core. In this core, man is essentially honest, industrious, cooperative, and loving. So much energy is spent repressing the secondary layer of cruelty and sadism. Yet it breaks out time and again. Witness the headlines in every newspaper. So what does it mean, my friend? That Facebook is squandering billions of dollars, thousands of workers, years of effort to build a high-tech, artificially intelligent reality, which is an affront to each one of us and is an insult to 245 years of American history. And I reply to this crapulence by saying, let us plant. Let us plant, brothers and sisters, a midwinter garden. Let's start with an heirloom seed, Grandpa Admir's lettuce, going way, way back in American history, as far back as the Civil War. I got this from the Seed Savers Exchange. Magnificent, folks. So let's plant a magnificent old-time lettuce. Let's plant green peas kale. I've got this also from the Seed Savers Exchange. So here we go. A kale that will flourish so mightily amidst the rains, amid the wetness, amidst the damp ground and the cold, freezing air. And finally, let us plant America's spinach. This too from the Seed Savers Exchange. America. And let's cover that over with a bit of living mulch. This is from my compost pile. I take so much pride in composting every carrot top, every apple core, every banana peel. All transform back into living, vibrant earth. And when I get this home, the first thing I'm going to do is to water this, of course, and then to cover this with a damp cloth. Take the cloth off, water it every day. Within a week or so, I will see sprouts and shoots. And then as soon as the sprouts come up, I will put this in full sun. But of course, if you're out in the freezing cold, just put it in a south-facing window. So my dear brothers and sisters, let us close with the words of Thomas Jefferson, who said, "Cultivators of the earth are the most valuable citizens. They are the most vigorous, the most independent, the most virtuous, and they are tied to their country and wedded to its liberty and interests by the most lasting bonds." So, in regard to Metaverse man, we postulate Jeffersonian American. We will triumph. We will succeed. Life always triumphs. Let us go forward, brothers and sisters. A privilege to share with you.